The Match Ball.
Hello there, and welcome to the show. The Match Ball live for you. Leeds 1, West Brom 1. Dan here with Michael and Moscow White. Brought to you by Levi Solicitors is the show, isn't it, of course?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think?
Had people shouting Will's probate and conveyancing me across a pub beer garden this evening. So yeah, they do all those things.
Yeah, we were in the Peacock before the match, weren't we? And we were trolled by some children at one point who asked if we had any Willy Gnonto mugs. Two children came up, obviously sent by some shocking parent to troll us. Yes, we do. Is the answer to that? Have Willy Gnonto mugs?
Isn't that a binding contract?
What, an offer to purchase?
Yeah, those kids have to come through with the money now.
Yeah, we'll see.
25 million, and we'll talk.
See you in court, chumps.
Yeah, we've got Levi Solicitors on our side. They don't know who they're messing with.
10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk / the square ball.
If you want to sue a child.
If you want to sue a child. Willy Gnonto's just over the age of responsibility, isn't he? So
I thought you were going to say consent then.
No.
For some reason.
I have no desire to make love to Willy Gnonto, especially when he's been naughty like he has been.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
So 1-1 against West Brom. I think I quite enjoyed that.
I will say I think the Willy Gnonto stuff pre-game did give the crowd a bit of a boost.
Yeah. It's a common enemy, isn't it?
Yeah, because I feel like the atmosphere was lacking a bit at Cardiff. People didn't quite know where to put themselves with it, and then it started and it wasn't maybe quite as good as we'd hoped. But it feels like now everyone's accepted it's going to be terrible. We turned up and went, oh, well, we're here now anyway. We might as well sort of enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was enjoyable. What you can see is the green shoots of something new starting there, because I think that was the problem, is I was worried that it wasn't going to happen. It felt like it was never going to happen, whereas actually now we have seen that it is happening, and it could be enjoyable if we supplement what's there with some more good things.
We don't need Willy Gnonto. Got Dan James.
It was good today with Dan James.
Very good.
Let's talk about Dan James then, because he's been a little bit hit and miss in the early weeks, hasn't he? Wasn't great.
When?
He was rubbish at
Birmingham.
I mean, early weeks. Well, season hasn't been going that long.
Earlier than this week, then.
But no, he frustrated me first half. Second half, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think half-time somebody told him to just beat that chump, didn't they?
It's exactly what we were saying, actually. Was it about the Cardiff game, when in the second half of the Cardiff game, you could tell he'd been instructed to just go down the line and knock it past him and have a run at him, because they were terrified. There were times when there were like 4 players around Dan James.
Well, their right-back got booked early on, didn't he, as well? So straight away you were thinking, yes, just go at him. Every single time, just go at him. And he'll have to bring you down at some point. But yeah, they combated it by just putting loads of people on him.
Didn't stop him.
No?
Because he was... there seemed to be a bit more confidence about him in this game than usual, where there was either the knocking it past and going down the outside, or he was more willing than usual if there were 3 people blocking his way. It's like, right, just bite through them, bit of pinball off their legs into the penalty area and see how far I can get with that. He was very unlucky with his shot. It was a good save. That was going in the top corner and was going to be a beauty. But his cross for Ayling, best cross since Jackie Harrison, rest his soul. And then he did at least one more that was really good. So very happy with Dan James.
It was nice to see that as well, a move that actually just worked, which was to go wide and bang it across. Because we were kind of faffing a lot because we've not got that presence in the middle.
I was going to say, and it was really the one bit where we had a striker, but all of a sudden it was Luke Ayling, which isn't necessarily his job.
Great header.
Really good header. I wrote the word salmon on my notes.
Good severe celebration as well.
Why?
Because you know why.
Did he leap like a...
Yeah. I didn't see the celebration. I was doing my own. Was it anything good?
He sort of marched towards the cop, and it wasn't so much it wasn't a badge kissing or really like a lead saluting thing. He just kept going.
Just for the audio listener there, Moscow is beating his chest.
Yeah, where the Leeds United badge would be, quite slowly but firmly.
Okay.
It wasn't like, when Charlie Creswell was celebrating Somerville's goal at Cardiff, where it was like frantic, like these. It was more of a, I don't know what it meant really, but it was noticeable that he was quite a severe is probably the best word for it. And Pascal Strout came over and was like, give him a big firm high five. There was no messing about. It was all just like business. And it was pretty good and all good to see.
We did enough in that game, I think, to win it, didn't we? If you look at it in comparison to like the Cardiff game, there was a similar pattern in that you're up against some grizzled Championship bastards, which Stu Nick in the comments has mentioned, said, great support tonight from such a young side. That was a top performance versus a bunch of grizzled Championship bastards.
Their team, just before we go on to the next bit, their team is like exactly what I would imagine. The only thing that's different about West Brom now is that they don't have an England goalkeeper. They usually turn up with an England goalkeeper, but they haven't got one anymore. But Jed Wallace, like, is about, I mean, he's supposedly like a creative player, isn't he? But he's been at Millwall, so he's just grim. Matt Phillips is Newcastle free kicks. John Swift, we were going to sign him at one point. He was supposedly like the new Pablo Hernandez, but it's like very typical that he's just gone Reading to West Brom. He will play. He's probably good enough to be in the Premier League under the right circumstances, but he'll just play in the Championship forever. That's the kind of thing, is all these players are sort of
a bit like us.
Condemned. We got up. Condemned to play in the Championship forever. It was nice as well on the other side of that was there was a big love in Kyle Bartley in the Cop. That was nice, and sort of recognition for Alex Mowat, who wasn't quite milking it as much.
Oh, my dad's just ringing me, even though he knows I do this after the game every time. So get back to you in a bit. Leave a voicemail.
Yeah, they were very, very champo and very lots of hard kicking against our players' legs and stuff and shoving them over and things.
There's just different moments that you spot in the game. Have you seen this where, I don't know, like there was a point at which I think it was in front of the Cop where there was a cross to the far post. Player was not, it wasn't fully unmarked, but I thought if that's Harry Kane, he kills it dead with one touch, knocks it back to Son, who puts it in. Whereas there's like a stretch and the ball's not quite right and he doesn't quite bring it down. It just goes out of play. It's a little bit more forgiving in the old Champo.
It's fairly rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to say generally. Like I made a note about, I think it was about 15 minutes in. Every time they had the ball for, it felt like 5 or 10 minutes, they just either ran it out of play or kicked it out of play.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like there was anything about them. And that continued for a lot of it. There was a bit in the second half, I think it was a Jay, just booted a free kick into the East Stand. And I mean, really booted it. Like, not one of those that's...
You are a fan of kicking hard.
Not one of those that's just over the head because it's been misjudged. Like, he just shot it into the East Stand and I was like, fucking hell, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might have had a close escape with Carlos Corberán. Because when I watched his West Brom playing Sunderland last year to see how Joffrey was doing, they didn't look great, and he couldn't get. We spoke about it on the podcast that he couldn't get his goalkeeper to do what he wanted. And he's very frantic, whereas Farke is quite calm in his technical area. Corberán is all over the place, like pointing at things and doing all this, but his players just ignore him. There was one point he was trying to kind of micro reposition a player in the centre circle. He's gone this way, and the player's like, here? He's like, no, back. Like, what, here? He's like, no, there, here. And in the end, they both ended up shrugging each other. And the player was Jed Wallace, who was his captain. I thought, this isn't going very well. Your team looks rubbish. They're not listening to you. You can't get any messages across. You're just getting annoyed at each other because you can't do any of that. And so it did make me think, yeah, I'm glad he doesn't manage us. Instead, we have our cool, calm guy.
I do like Farke. I do like him. I like the cut of his jib. I like what he's trying to get us to do. It's not quite firing at all times, but you can see we're missing that number 10, aren't you, that can just drop into those little pockets of space. And because I remember, like we said before, like a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, we watched that 3-1 against Norwich, the defeat at Ellen Road, and they were pinging it through the lines dead quick. That's what I noticed about the style of football that he's trying to employ. So assuming he's trying to do the same thing here, we do the sort of pinging it into the midfielder, but it goes back to the centre half, and we were moving it out wide to the full-backs quite a lot, but not getting through the lines as much as you might expect us to. If it can make that happen, I think we'll be all right.
It felt like we spent an awful lot of time with the centre-backs and the goalkeeper having the ball, which I think, in fairness, was West Brom's doing, because it
was 5-4-1, wasn't it?
They had obviously set up to say, well, look, if those players have got it, more or less leave them to it, and we'll mark the other players so they can't progress the ball. So it did work, but it feels like there should be enough in that. If you've got enough good players, you can get around that because you string a couple of passes together and play out.
You've answered your own question.
Get some more good players.
Melier was getting quite a lot of grief towards the end of the game for not being fast enough with his distribution and not building any counter-attacks from the back. But I was thinking, there's no one really for him to give the ball to that's going to do anything, because we don't have a creative player who's going to say, like, it's the 95th minute, give me the ball and I'm going to make something happen in the other half. He's looking at a bunch of players who it's probably... And also, I don't think we wanted to lose the game in the 95th minute particularly, so I think caution was the better part. It's kind of like that the whole match. I've kind of had a look at Farke when we've done that thing of turning our back on an attack and taking it back to Melier. and he's never like raging about it. It never seems like he's disturbed by what's happening. I think it's a situation where better safe than sorry at the moment, and don't do anything silly. And it is kind of frustrating, but it's also understandable that I would rather Melier is thinking twice than he's thinking, go on, Sam Greenwood, go and win the game.
Yeah, there was a moment earlier than that, actually, when there was a bit of a grumble when he didn't distribute it quick enough, and people were annoyed at him because he was doing that thing of, I think, pretending to roll it out and trying to find the right centre-back to give it to. And people got annoyed at him, so he put it on the floor and booted it towards Ayling and into touch. And I thought, well, that's what happens if you start to rely on percentage balls. There is a chance that some of them are going to go out. Yeah. So we might have to be a little bit patient at times until we can get those extra players in, which will hopefully happen this week.
Well, hasn't happened already.
Well,
and Ayling
that's a question for the ownership, isn't it?
It does always end up with Ayling being the outball, doesn't it? Because it gets passed around, then Ayling progresses forward. It's chipped to his head, doesn't always get there. But in a game like today as well, when you've not got an actual number 9 playing, if you had Lee Chapman there, you would occasionally just go, I'll just
one for the kids.
I'll just twat it up to his head.
Brian, by the way, is just mentioning. It says, "I wish I knew what he was saying to the Pirate and Ampadu after the match." I don't know.
Who? Sorry,
this was Farke at the end.
Farke.
He was on the pitch having a really animated conversation with the pair of them. I don't know if it was telling him about how to do that sort of link-up play from the back or whatever.
I hope he was being nice, because we don't need any more players wanting to leave, do we?
No, absolutely not.
Bit of diplomacy, Daniel.
Yeah, I've written down the words Archie Gray. Archie Gray, Daniel. Mm-hmm. He was quieter tonight, was Archie Gray, wasn't he? I don't think he got a foothold in the game for a while, but then he just showed some absolutely brilliant moments of class. Like there was one moment where, because obviously his role when Ayling pushes up is to tuck in the right back position, isn't it? And just fill in there. And he got, I think he got caught a little bit. I don't know if Strauch played a ball across to him or Rodon maybe. And he just did a little thing with his feet where he just moved the ball around and turned out of trouble. And I was like...
Was it down in front of the East stand?
Yeah, good. And because I saw quite close up what he did with his feet, and I was like, you're better at football than me. And I really like it.
He is good. I thought he was fine. Everything was sort of fine, wasn't it? I don't think Joffrey and Rutter particularly worked as a part of the attack.
Rutter's shot was good at the end.
Went wide, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not by much.
Rubbish.
It was a good effort.
Get him off. No, he's not a number 9, is he? He should be playing off a number 9.
Are you talking about Joffrey or Rutter?
Well, yeah. Well, this is the problem we've found ourselves with, isn't it? This is where we are.
There was a bit in the first half where we had it on the left-hand side and Rutter had gone out there and Dan James was already out there and I think Sam Byram was up there too, and the three of them were just stood around. It's a bit like, well, at least one of you go and stand in the middle, please.
Yeah.
Like, all three of you here are no use. You're just getting in each other's way.
There was a good chance in the first half. It was crossed in from the right. We'd moved it quite. It was one of the attacks where the crowd was a bit frustrated that it had taken some time. We'd turned our back on like a quick break. Instead, had a slower break and ended up swishing it from one side to the other. And then there was a cross. I think it might have been Luke Ayling actually batted it across the box, but by that time, Jorginho Rutter was just standing on the left wing. It's Gelhardt almost got a foot on it. That was it. It went across and he kind of got a foot on it, but it was only him anywhere near anything in the box. I think those are the two positions where they are the ones where I would kind of look at the owners and go like, why isn't this sorted yet? Because the lack of a striker, maybe they had their faith in Bamford, but even for backup, and just the lack of creativity feels like something that, regardless of who's going out, what the other plans are, what the problem is with when Tyler Adams might leave, what Wilf Gnonto might end up doing, all that kind of stuff. Regardless of that stuff, we need to find a creative player and then keep them fit, because if we're only going to have one, then it's going to be, we'll be relying on them, leaning on them quite heavily.
That was the story of tonight, though, wasn't it? What you just said there, we were so nearly good at moments. It's just for that little final ball or the touch or the little interchange of passes.
To make the argument against myself, though, the other thing that you could see tonight that is related to what you were saying is you could see some of the players, particularly in the second half, now that this is the third game of the league season, starting to get that little bit of a groove back of like, I used to be able to do this. Shackleton had a great...
I've just written down the word Shacks.
He had a great dribble in off the wing in the second half. He suddenly started beating players and running into the penalty area. I just started thinking, Jamie Shackleton can do this. And it's a long time since he's really felt the wind through his sides. And and Dan James as well, just getting a good performance under his belt is like a step forward to being better, not just at bringing the team together, but the players sort of rediscovering the things that they are actually possible to do. I don't think Luke Ayling will be complaining about having scored a goal at the back post. I don't think Illan Meslier will be unhappy that he fingertipped a shot onto the post. It's a long time since he's made a good save. And then suddenly, good save, and then minutes later, West Brom score an illegal goal that several people should be in prison for.
Yeah, I obviously didn't see this.
Should we go full AFTV and start accusing people of war crimes?
Didn't see this very well. What was the little telly
Neither
showing
did
you?
The little telly was shot. Well, the thing is...
Oh, can I get the little telly bell out? Hang on a minute. There you go.
The linesman was on
Did you have a little telly tonight?
Yeah, the linesman was on that side, so I had a very good view of it. And also, if the referee wasn't just busy booking people, he might have had a chance of it as well. But basically, the player was standing offside and punched it in. So I don't think that's a goal.
No, it shouldn't be.
No. And even before that, it wasn't a goal because it was a shit corner and then scuffed about and then a shot and it was deflected and then the guy standing offside just hits you with his hand and goes in.
Yeah.
So it's even before he committed that crime, it was just a bit rubbish anyway. So I don't think it should have counted.
Do you long for VAR or are you happy to still not have it?
Well, the thing is, VAR would have absolutely, definitely disallowed that goal for two reasons. And so it is kind of a tough break to suddenly be back in this, whatever it's called, championship, and not have that. Because the rules are now, I'm right in thinking, I'm probably wrong, who knows. But if an attacking player touches the ball with their hand, it's a free kick, isn't it? It's defending where there's a bit of natural position stuff. But if you're an attacker and the ball touches your hand, free kick, game stops, no question about it. And yet, because there isn't a camera there, it doesn't happen. And it maybe goes back on... so the assistant referees were Paul Hodgkinson, which could be misprint, either that or it's a silly name, and Daniel Leach. I don't know which one of them, but just see it. Don't worry about whether the cameras are going to spot this for you. Just see it and then put your flag up and then tell the referee and disallow the goal. Referee, anybody on the player ratings giving the referee more than 0 needs to give written reasons.
Was he another child referee? He looked very young.
He looked very bad.
He was rubbish. He gave a lot of yellow cards for more or less nothing.
Yeah, but they're doing that whole clamping down on time wasting and
he
stuff
gave
like.
For like just tackles.
Yeah, there was a couple of them, weren't there?
Just anytime anyone had a slight foul, he was like, "Nah, yellow for that." I just thought he was consistent with it. I will say,
consistently bad. Yeah. What did you reckon to the? Did you see in your little telly, Moscow? What did the little telly say about the penalty incident with Gelhardt? Block behind me said on the radio. They said that's a penalty. He got the ball first and the guy got him afterwards.
Yeah, he got the ball first, the guy got him afterwards.
Thank you.
So they were right.
Thank you for confirming.
He kicked him really hard after sort of getting the ball away, followed through and made sure he kicked him really hard on the knee. So I think that should have been... I mean, I'm not totally devoted to the idea of it's a penalty. It's not he didn't trip him miles off the ball. He had got the ball first. But I would want that.
Farke's, I've just seen Phil Hay tweeting. Farke's just said he doesn't normally comment on decisions of the referee, but even the guys from Sky have told me it was a clear handball for the goal.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
It seems like a crucial mistake. I also got the feeling we were pretty close to a penalty.
Well, there you go. It's an unbelievable hard job, though, isn't it?
It's an unbelievable hard break.
Yeah. Richard in the comments is just saying that Joffrey got a yellow for an awkward glance.
Yeah,
which I really like.
There was a lot of in the first half. I noticed he kept allowing the players to take free kicks while the ball was rolling, and then suddenly, not long after I'd sort of clocked this, I think Strouk tried to take a free kick from slightly the wrong position, and so he's like, "No, you've got to." Like the ball's just been rolling all over. Like people have been juggling with it while they're taking the free kick.
I understand why he did that, but the inconsistency was well annoying. Yeah. Because he did that because we gained an advantage on the pitch in terms of the state of the game. Had we moved it that quickly with it rolling,
we're not that good.
No, but we would have had them on the back. The speed
anyway.
At which he passed it meant we had them on the back foot, and then he put it down again afterwards, and it was still rolling when he took it for the second time. But all the threat had been removed, so he let that one go.
Do you know where he lives?
The ref. Why were you going
doxing him?
No, a little greater than that, but residence Greater Manchester. So draw your own.
I think the highlight for me was when they had a free kick because we were offside and it was in our half. That was the new one.
That was very, very strange, wasn't it? Yeah, because it was Ruto who came back from an offside position, but obviously I'm yet to see offsides in your own half. That's not a thing as far as I'm concerned.
So it was less picky on that, and I think that was the point where everyone went, "Come on, ref, you're taking the piss a bit here." Yeah. Like at least make him take that one. And I know it's probably only a matter of 2 or 3 yards from where it should have been, and normally that wouldn't be a thing. But you've got to look at it and you'd be like, oh, come on, ref.
Yeah, if you're going to be picky about that one,
that's not a thing.
Yeah.
If it was there, then you shouldn't have been given. It shouldn't have been given.
Sorry, this guy, he is absolutely 100% a Manchester United fan. So there's a story here on.
They said he was from Manchester.
Well, exactly. So on the Manchester FA website from a few years ago, I think 2017, he entered the league. Manchester FA referee Matt Donoghue takes the next step on his officiating career this Saturday when he will oversee his first game in the EFL. Quite the rapid rise for Donoghue, who will be the man in the middle as Colchester hosts Port Vale. The Southend native, who originally moved up to the northwest over 10 years ago for his degree, began his refereeing journey with us, officiating local games in the Greater Manchester area. So, from Southend, lives in Manchester, likes football.
Case closed. Oh, do you know what? Because we're doing the TSB jury now. I meant to tell you, I've bought a gavel and a block, a wooden one. So shall I get my gavel and my wooden block now, and we could cast judgment on the ref? Or should we save it for that show?
Save it for that show.
The grand unveiling.
Yeah, something for people to look forward to in the week.
What did you make of the atmosphere tonight?
I thought it was loads better.
It ebbed and flowed, didn't it? There were moments when it kind of lulled, when we didn't have the full grip of the game, I suppose.
It was a shame there was no chance for it to really build in injury time because they just had throw-ins.
Yeah. The wind went out of the sails a bit, didn't it, late on after that momentum that we'd had?
Yeah, that was a bit of
the subs might have
that was a bit
done
of a
that
letdown because you got 7 minutes. Oh, that's good. But then it was just throw-ins towards our box for the entire period.
That shouldn't be allowed.
And then Rutter had that shot, and that was basically it.
Are we ruling that now? When we're saying we're not allowed to do that, no throws towards our box at the end?
It was just annoying. It felt like the ball just wasn't in play during the 7 minutes. It felt like
that was when there was another strike against Strout for taking a free kick in the wrong place. And you could see Strout, look, come on. I'm not even kicking it forward. He started refereeing when he was 14. Never a good sign, is it?
No, it's not. A child of 14 guy. Do you know what I want to be? Bloody ref.
Yeah, running around in his Man United kit.
But we do need referees. Let's be nice.
We
to
do.
them.
Yeah,
we need good ones. Ones that will not let people just punch the ball into the net. Tony Mowbray did not hold back his words as he flat out called Matthew Donoghue incompetent. This was last season.
Do you know what? I like our we're laying into the ref and stuff. Do you know, I've just written down that what's nice is that we're not talking about Willy Gnonto on this, and we don't have to.
He wasn't playing, was he?
No. But the biggest issue just before kickoff was Willy Gnonto, the fact that he's supposed to put in a written transfer request. And actually, tonight, overall, and that's why I asked about the atmosphere, what you thought about it. It felt like there was a defiance inside Ellen Road. I like it when Ellen Road's like that. A little bit minxy, a little bit naughty, a little bit defiant. It's got mischief. There's mischief in the air, and it felt a little bit like that. And did you notice? It was God, I've forgotten his name now. Is it? I think like Christopher or Chris who told me, he said the first chant for what was it? What was the chant? It was refused to play. Fuck off on. Was that right? Came in the 29th minute.
And there was There was a very strong Willy Gnonto as a wanker at first minute, maybe even before the game. I can't remember.
Well, I've got friends in the Middle East and in the United States, both of whom messaged me and said you could hear that loud and clear on the TV.
Good.
And Sky TV is effing yes.
If he's put in a proper transfer request, he's not coming back. I know on the show this week we said, there's still maybe a route back for him. It feels like this is probably
he's deliberately burning his bridges, isn't he?
And I look forward to him doing it again next year when Everton go down. If that's the move he wants that much.
Mowbray said, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen, yet some guy in a blue suit allowed a goal to stand.
Don Reevy?
I don't know why this Donoghue character's refereeing games in a blue suit last season, but
this is good
quite novel.
Because Musk has now torched TweetDeck. I can't find out what the comments are. Let's have a look. So Farke has said on the transfer request, from tomorrow morning I will concentrate on this topic, the transfer business that is, until after the game. I don't want to hear anything about transfers. I didn't want to be distracted.
Yeah, there's not really anything you'll say. Is that what can you tell us about Willy Gnonto's transfer request?
He's put one in.
He's put one in, as you know. So, Pervader has an abductor strain, which is bizarrely more relevant for our future. He'll be missing
10 days.
Around 10 days.
So that feels like more than a week to me.
Correct.
I mean, we've often relied on your physio expertise. I know they called you Phil then, Michael. How'd you get over the old adductor strain?
Well, the abductor, of course, is a tricky muscle to to deal with.
You're Googling where it is, aren't you?
Due to the way it...
Because what I like is that you called it the abductor and it's the adductor.
Oh, adductor?
Yeah.
Oh, not an abductor.
No, the other one.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, my advice would be useless then.
I can't do my joke about it being kidnapped either.
No. Dear me.
Anyway.
Talk about labour in the joke.
I mean, the lack of Pervader and the lack of anything off the bench was not ideal, was it? Because as I know we've said, we've kind of slagged off Rutter a bit, saying it didn't really work. But equally, it's his first 90 minutes he's played for us.
No, well, I don't know about if he finished against, but he started at Fulham, didn't he? And did he start at Chelsea last year?
I don't feel like he's ever completed 90 minutes for us. But anyway, he's not played this. He's certainly not played 90 minutes this season, has he? So,
and he wasn't terrible. He was all right. Just didn't really get involved in the end of the shot at the end. That was all right, and then his positioning is off. He's not the number 9 we're looking for. He's not a player that's worth 35 million quid. It would probably be better all round if he'd never arrived. But now he's here. He tried. He turned up.
He did turn up. But as you say, you're looking at him not probably fit enough, but playing 90 minutes, because then you look at the bench and you get Greenwood, who's not been training until this week either, and you get a couple of goalkeepers, and you're thinking, there's not anything he can do here, is there?
I know Farke said that, we didn't want to buy players too early in case we missed out on some gold at the end of the window, but there is this kind of middle part where we could have done with a few more. And I suppose it didn't help as well that the under-21s were off battering Man United tonight as well. So we couldn't even call upon too many of them.
Sonny Perkins was there, wasn't he, rather than on our bench?
Yeah, helping Scoobs repeat the glory. He loves it there, doesn't he?
Rodon, we haven't mentioned him
Undefeated at Old Trafford.
Rodon, solid tonight, I thought. There was a moment when he went down, clutching his leg, and I thought, great, here we go again. But I thought he was good.
I thought he was good. And he looked fairly comfortable on the ball too.
He also looks like Liam Cooper at a glance, which is confusing to the brain at first.
And when he's skipping around midfield with the ball at his feet, trying to evade tackles with 14 on his back, I did have quite... Llorente's back!
Yeah, I never thought the Llorente comparison. But
he got into a little bit of trouble in 1 or 2 points, but he seems all right generally, doesn't he?
And it seems like the way we were actually trying to build from the back, it was putting quite a bit of pressure on him and Strauch to do some slightly risky stuff on occasions.
They had a schoolboy. Why don't you just give the ball to the schoolboy? Who would probably have done well with it.
I enjoyed it when Rodon started carrying the ball up the pitch and he started playing in really tight areas. That was fun.
Yeah. A lot of tension.
Yeah.
Need a bit of drama.
You do, yeah. But overall, I think quite an enjoyable evening. I feel like this was the first sign of something different happening at Leeds, and I think that defiance in the crowd was perhaps a signal that we're leaving all the turncoat bastards. We're leaving all them in the past, and we're moving on to something new now, and we're prepared to get behind these lads, even if some of them are a bit limited. But they're the ones who are showing up and playing.
Well, everyone's out of position, aren't they? That's the thing in attack. Like, Gelhardt shouldn't be there, Rutter shouldn't be there, Shackleton shouldn't be there. Shackleton should probably be... I thought he played well tonight, don't get me wrong, but he should probably be within this team on the bench or being occasionally rotated into midfield to give other people, or to give Archie Gray a rest or something like that. But as it is, because there is no other option, he's there as a winger all of a sudden, which he isn't really. So, but did a good job there and does everything at such an incredible pace and energy. I just sort of watch it and think, bloody hell.
Hard work, innit?
Really hard work. I know he always comes back from pre-season and is top of the fitness charts, doesn't he, in the bleep test and all that sort of stuff, and it does really translate to the way you see him play. Like I know Sam Byron was down with a bit of cramp at the end, wasn't he? But yeah, he just non-stop with Shackleton. So I don't mind seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing.
My wife just texted me saying the next door neighbour's been arguing with somebody out front of the house for at least half an hour now, and it's 11 p.m. It's controversial, isn't it? You don't get that normally on the match ball.
I'd stay away if I were you.
Yeah. She's female, I could take her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely fine. Jane has just been on in the comments saying someday I will be in that crowd. First time visitor to Ellen Road eventually, Jane?
There's plenty of room. There's only 33,000 there.
They didn't sell all their tickets, did they? Or they chose to take the 2,000 that we have to offer them for real, like by the rules. But the front bit didn't go on sale, did it? And that would suggest that there were spaces elsewhere in the stadium. So that's what £48 tickets will do. Sorry, £47 tickets with a £1 booking fee will do to you. It's ridiculous.
That is far too much.
You don't deserve a full stadium if that's what you're charging.
I did notice as I walked past
shit like that.
As I walked past the East Stand today doing it, they still have had the balls to leave the footballers for the fans shirt hanging in the window, and I thought, it's fucking expensive though, isn't it? It might be for the fans, but you've got to pay for it. I know. Yeah, the East Upper had some gaps in it. I think they'd translated. Did you translate a seat? They turned some corporate seats into normal seats quite late in the day. I think
they always get released. They always get released late, don't they? Those seats. But.
Yeah, when they were like, no one's. Certainly, no one's willing to pay £180 or whatever they want for a corporate seat. Let's see if anyone will pay 47 quid for them.
Tommy Peacocks, good name, Tommy, is asking, don't we need to be out of the office at 11 o'clock tonight? No, it's midnight. The alarms come on, so we've got a full hour. We could stay here and just enjoy this, keep going. But we got another first-time American in the form of Larry Nance Jr., our new friend.
Best friend.
Boozing in the Peacock beforehand. He put his card behind the bar and bought, when I say everyone, I mean everyone in the Peacock who went to that bar got booze off Larry.
He did seem nice.
He's a really nice man.
We obviously did ask him about buying a striker. He said there was a poll and he demonstrated on the poll. He said, I am here in terms of where.
Like the food chain kind of thing. Yeah. When it comes to the ownership. But anyway, we had word in his ear, didn't we? Told him to buy a striker, buy a left back and all that.
Yeah.
But he can't do much more about it than the Copcat.
No. But
he can maybe send someone an email.
I suppose the Copcat's never bought you I wasn't there, but Copcat's not bought anybody a pint lately.
No, he's not got opposable thumb, so he can't type in his PIN number. Bit of a problem for him.
Contactless?
This is true, yeah, you can do that now, can't you? Yeah. What do you think, like the Copcat's face? You can unlock your phone with your face now. Do you think the Copcat's face would unlock a phone?
If you stored it, yeah, of course.
Have we got any more to add? Or should we just talk about the Copcat's face?
I'll go see if David Haig might be at Don Matteo's bar buying everybody drinks. So we don't want to miss that. Friday night in Leeds.
Have we done then with tonight's match ball?
Luke Ayling. We didn't talk about him.
He's got a nice header, didn't he?
We didn't talk about him completely because it was a really good header.
We're really worried about Luke Ayling. I'm worried about the amount that you're worried about Luke Ayling.
There was some physical comedy in the first half, wasn't there, where he was tripping over himself and it all looked really clumsy. And I was thinking, oh, God, this is the end of Luke Ayling. And then he appeared.
Like a sad old dog.
But then there's life in the old dog.
He turned into a salmon.
We rely on him so much, don't we? That's the problem. He seems to be the outball on a number of occasions, and we rely on him to do an awful lot of work on the right. And I feel
Melier's left-footed,
and I kind of feel like someone should help him.
Well, he's running the right all on his own, isn't he? And then it's like I say, it's Archie Gray's job to, if it's Archie Gray on that side, to drop back in and become the spare man. But yeah, he spent an awful lot of time up the field, and you just wonder, does he have the legs to get up and down the field like he used to do? Just to extend the old dog metaphor.
He doesn't have to do it like he used to do, as long as he can chase after whatever grizzled championship bastard is on the wing. He can take Jed Wallace most weeks. He's on interviewed on Sky afterwards, so I can't listen to it obviously, but saying that I can't wait for the transfer window to close so we know what we've got. And Sky have added a cry laughing emoji. I don't know if that's...
Who's that, Ayling?
Yeah, I don't know if that's to reflect that he was being humorous or if they're just mocking him and us. Double cry laughing emojis when I can't tell the context.
Well, we let our feelings be known about Sky tonight, didn't we, in the sing song? So there you go.
As always.
I think that's your lot for tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish we'd won. We should have won, shouldn't we?
But it's coming. That's the thing. I've come away from that and thought we had enough there to win that. And when you take the handball, it was a moral victory, Michael. When you take the handball
Shackleton
out, the fact we should have had a penalty.
We hit the post as well.
Dan James curling effort. I mean, God, that was close.
Yep.
I mean, they didn't.
I was right behind that. And
They didn't really have it. And there were slightly hairy moments where the balls were crossed and it fell to their players, and you sort of thought, oh, someone good would score here. But
that's what I meant earlier, like about that cross ball where it just went out. Yeah,
Harry Kane ain't here no more. No.
And there was one where I can't remember who it was. Someone slid in at the back post, managed to kick it into their own face or something while they're trying to shoot. And I thought, yeah, you get away with quite a bit here, but they didn't deserve anything from that. I don't think.
No.
And it feels like I know we have 2 points. We could quite easily have had 6 or 7.
Who are we playing next?
It's bitch.
Oh, we'll lose that. Okay, never mind.
No, but we'll have 3 new signings in by then, and we will feel renewed, rejuvenated. We're getting closer to the end of the window, and that first win's going to come.
Some new signings would genuinely help to boost things, just from a morale point of view as well, of everyone going, okay, we've got something new to look at. Because I think everyone's quite enjoyed looking at Ampadu and
that's it, yeah.
Rodon.
Just move it all forward. Forget these losers who don't want to play for us or would rather be at Bournemouth. Whatever, fine. If that's what you want to do, go do it. If you don't want to be at my club, it's fine. I support the club and the players who are in the shirt at the time. If you don't want to wear it, off you go.
But do give us money.
Yeah,
for them.
And if you do change your mind and you want to stay, we'll talk about it. Anyway, let's wrap it up there. We'll revisit this next week. We're going to be chatting to Phil on Monday. That feels like miles away, doesn't it? Does Monday now because it's Friday night.
Got a whole weekend in which
actually enjoy my weekend.
Leeds United can't hurt us and England can win the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's a good combination. Make sure you sign up for 31-7 because Flora, not totally, she's got the opportunity if she wants to be ringing the gantry bell from the actual World Cup final. FIFA accredited, press seats, mixed zone. She's going to the pre-match press conference.
Must be nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. But still, maybe considering about watching it with the fans.
Football is for the fans, Moscow.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be full gantry action. But yeah, get the emails because they're really good.
Cool.
Good writing about good stuff.
Yeah, excellent.
And it's free. You just have to put your email address in, and you know we've probably already got that.
That's on the website. So is the...
if we don't, give it to us.
If you
can get that email.
If you're a TSB Plus member, find it on the website. Leave your feedback for us as well. Talk to us a bit. Leave your scores for the game, and we'll revisit it all next week. Enjoy your weekend, and yeah, what do we do with Saturday and Sunday now?
Well, you watch the World Cup final, you mentalist.
Saturday then. You know what I mean.
Saturday's a build-up.
Right. We'll see you soon.
The Match Ball.